Some people know the importance of history. Personal and family records are invaluable to understand our existence. A nation's history is the same, and historical organizations throughout Canada every day work hard to keep the stories alive for future generations. One of these groups is Halifax 57 Rescue Canada. Since 1985, Halifax 57 Rescue Canada has made some of the most critically important aviation recoveries in Canadian history. Supported by Canadian war veterans, government and corporate sponsors, our accomplishments speak for themselves. Hamar, Norway, the Norwegian recovery of Halifax aircraft NA337 from a depth of 750 feet from Lake Miosa. The world record lift was delivered to RCAF Trenton, Ontario, where it was restored to its spectacular original state. Harrodsbergen, Belgium, the recovery of Halifax LW682 from a bog that was drained and excavated by 57 Rescue in Baja. The recovery found the plane in rough shape, and after a full honor burial for the remaining crew, the aircraft was melted down into aluminum ingots. These ingots were stored for 15 years at the Bomber Command Museum of Canada in Nanton, Alberta. Once there, they were melted down a second time to become the ceiling for the magnificent Bomber Command Memorial in London, England.
Three, two, one, now. Let's sweep the decks. Let's sweep the decks.
Once our dedication to the Bomber Command Memorial had made its mark in England, we turned our eyes south to our friends in America. In a dedication of honor and a heartfelt thank you, we remembered the brave Americans who came to Canada in the early days of World War II. Carl Casgard of Halifax 57 Rescue Canada decided to see how many American states contributed airmen to the battles overseas. The numbers were evident. Brave men who fought and died in their quest to help those under attack, all young men. Taking aluminum from Halifax LW682, recovered in Belgium, the same material that is in the ceiling of the Bomber Command Memorial in London, we have created a series of beautiful plaques in honor of these American airmen. Our first presentation was at the Virginia War Memorial in Richmond, a solemn and proud moment for the families and descendants of those airmen from America.
Tom Withers Jr. was a young man. He decided to go off to war. From Roseland, Virginia, he headed up north to find the great wide open door. For courage was needed, and Canada's boys were sailing to Europe to fight. From the Battle of Britain to the missions beyond, reflections of words from high flight.
Our next step was the state of Florida. J.R. Hafer and John Stemple led the way as we traveled to present a beautiful plaque at the American Legion in Clearwater and at the former Gilbert Airfield, now Winter Haven Airport. Each presentation is carried out with a speech by Carl Casgard explaining the importance of the event.
Only 24 out of 100. And they went every night. And the American boys were with the Canadian boys fighting to the end.
Following that, a special song is presented. And finally, the unveiling. This is a remembrance of war, of courage, bravery, and honor. For those wishing to learn more about this project, our four organizations, 20th Century Aviation Magazine, Halifax 57 Rescue Canada, the Bomber Command Museum of Canada, and NAS, are forming a new aviation station. Be a part of these historical events as we come to recognize the valiant efforts made by American, Canadian, British, and our allies in the struggle for victory and freedom.
Stood their ground with dignity, with courage, heart, and bravery, they flew into the fray, 1,000,000 miles away. And from their homes in Florida, the families held them in their hearts. They understood their ways, 1,000,000 miles away from home.
For more information on how your state can honor these brave American veterans, contact J.R. Hafer in Florida at 20th Century Aviation Magazine or Carl Casgard in Nanton, Alberta.
Over 8,000 airmen came up from the States to fly in the high bomber stream. And Tom with his letters was sent home in time to tell of the courage he'd seen. And now there's a stone wall in Nanton, Alberta, where the names of the fallen stand tall.